Hey watercolor wizards, Hajra here. I've received compliments on this map I painted some time ago, and you might have seen it clipped to my drawing board in my videos. For those of you dears keen on map making of your own, here's how to do it. I drew in a green outline of the continents using my waterproof green zig marker. The waterproof part is key as we'll be applying lots of water later. I did this on BFK Rives paper, which is a soft-sized printmaking paper made by Arches, available for a good price at Dick Blick's. This paper is not externally sized, so no outer gelatin coating, which means almost no corrections and lifting, unlike typical watercolor paper. However, BFK Rives has a delicious softness reminiscent of cotton fabric and a fibery smoothness all its own. And you can see I'm wearing a half mitten to protect my lefty curse of smearing ink everywhere. Be careful how you draw and transfer the map to the paper. The paper doesn't like repeated erasing, and even low-tack tape results in tearing some of the paper off. So go lightly, neatly, and carefully. Once you're all drawn and inked, wet a landmass with water, and the ink is really the best part. But hold up, I have to tell you what I used. I used Winsor & Newton Calligraphy ink in green and Dr. Phil Martin's India ink in yellow and bright red, which is more of a red-orange. I started by dropping Phil Martin's yellow ink into the corners of the wet landmass of Africa, and you can see the soft, fabricy nap of this paper causes topographic-looking feathering of the ink. And now you can see why I bother with this finicky paper for maps. This is just artistic topography. You could try and direct the ink by lifting it and scooting it around while it's wet to mimic the real topography of a land area if desired. It's still not going to be scientifically accurate, but I'm an artist, not a cartographer. My husband builds interactive digital maps for a living, so you'll have to ask him for that kind of stuff. So I continue this yellow ink wet into wet drop-in with bleeding effects for all the continents, letting it bleed more or less according to what looks pretty to me. Once the yellow is dry, I use the green Winsor & Newton ink by itself and also a mix of Winsor & Newton green with Dr. Phil Martin's bright red for a more olive green. And I drop these two greens into the re-wetted landmass shapes, again applying the ink right by the outlined edges and letting it bleed into the center. The lovely feathery greens will really add to the depth of the faux topography. Switch back and forth from the green and green-red for cooler and warmer greens, and leave some of the yellow showing in places for added warmth. Because these bleeds feather toward the center, leaving the middle mostly bare, an illusion of land with increasing and decreasing altitude is created very easily. For any of the maps I've created like this, I feel almost guilty at how easily this develops. Again, while the ink and paper are quite wet, you have some time for limited lifting in case you want to redirect the intensity, shape, and size of the ink bleeds. Do your lifting with a damp, almost dry, clean brush. For my original map, I used an old Flat World map reference. For the map I'm doing in this video, I used a D3 data library map projection that squeezes the continents into a double semicircular shape. You can find map projections that use data and code to squeeze the world into all sorts of cool mapped shapes. And if you're looking for map inspiration, you can browse a gigantic David Rumsey map collection of tens of thousands of maps online or in person at Stanford University. Maps really are magical, an engrossing mix of knowledge and art, proof that information can really be beautiful. After I was done with the land masses and filming, I looked at the map and thought it would be a nice change to have some blue water in the new map because the first one didn't have that. But I didn't want to crowd the textury land masses. So I decided that wetting the outline of the map projection shape and dropping in blue Dr. Phil Martin's ink with a bit of Winsor Newton green to tone it down gave a nice blue water effect around it. And since I did what I did for the green land areas and left the center of the blue water area bare, there was no crowding of the blue and green textures. So it all worked out. Hope you're inspired to make a quick, easy map with beautiful results like this one. You can journey all over the world right on your paper, so epic painting and traveling adventures.